Quilters Newsletter TV, the Quilters community, is brought to you by Handi Quilter, designed by a quilter for quilters. Sulky, express yourself with Sulky and create with confidence. Brother, it's so easy with Brother at your side. And Quilt Cut, easy fabric cutting for quilters.
Hi there and welcome to Quilters Newsletter TV, the Quilters community. I'm Patrick Lose and I'm here again with Kay Caps Cross. How are you doing, Kay?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. I'm kind of excited to see where this block is going to go. When last we left you, we had a chain of block parts.
Right.
And Kay's going to show us now how to put those together into a block to complete the Pass the Pimientos, Please quilt.
Yes. So we started out pretty random,
Yeah.
didn't we?
Yeah.
So we're going to take this chain over and we're going to keep it attached because
Okay.
it's easier to transport to the ironing board when
Sure.
it's attached.
Sure. Okay.
Okay, so we're going to come over to the ironing board and we're going to actually get to press these.
Okay.
I know I don't always do that, but we get to do it this time.
Sure.
So we're going to end up with some nice pieces like this. We're going to snip them. And we're going to do the same thing where we set and press open and set and press open. We are going to be a little bit careful about which way we set and press them. We're going to keep the color to the right-hand side.
Okay.
So that when we go to build the blocks, the seams will nestle together nicely. Okay. So my color's in the upper right-hand corner. I'm going to set and press open. Okay. Set and press open. And I'll do a few in a row. Because I'm using different textures, I'm not going to be able to do that quite as much as if I was doing all cotton.
Sure.
So I'll get a stack started, and I'm going to set and press open.
I love how quickly this all moves too.
Oh, it goes very quickly,
Right.
very quickly.
How long would you say it would take to get the quilt top completed?
Oh, you could easily do this in a couple days.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, easily. Now this one is where I've used that heavier fabric, okay?
Right, and
so I'm not going to be able to press it the way I want
you
to.
can't stretch it or...
Nope. So I'm just going to let this one go the way it wants to.
Sure.
And then when I put that together with another half block, I'll just cheat those seams.
Sure.
So I can still nestle them together.
Because it might extend a little bit over
Right.
the edge.
Yes. So now we get to take these back over to the sewing machine and we get to match up pairs.
Cool.
We want to be random, but we still want to make sure we don't have too many repeats in a row.
Aesthetically
right.
pleasing.
Exactly. We do want to be a
But
bit
still random.
aesthetically pleasing.
Yes, yeah, I
How
love that.
fun
Yeah.
are these?
Definitely.
How fun. Oh my goodness. These are really fun. So
This
like,
really pops the...
yep. For
dot.
example, I probably wouldn't
No.
stitch that because I know that I'm going to have some other choices. Like that.
Yeah, it's nice to have 4 different versions of the
Yes.
color in there.
So now we're just going to put them right sides together
Okay.
and we're going to line them up by the machine.
Do you match your center point up perfectly also?
Yes,
Good. Okay.
I nudge those together.
That
I'm
would
not
make
going
me
to
feel
pin.
a lot better.
Yeah, yeah, we'll do that for you.
Okay.
We will nudge them together, but we won't pin. With that
Right.
many layers of fabric,
There's-
pinning would do absolutely nothing for us.
Because they move against each other anyway when
Right,
you're sewing.
right.
So.
Here is that example of the one where we're just going to cheat. We've got both seam allowances going the same direction, so we'll just cheat it right there.
Right, exactly. That's
Yep.
what I do.
So let's just start with that one, shall we? We're just going to line up and we're going to chain piece these just as we did the quarter blocks, okay? You may have to go a little bit slow, some of these seams.
And especially on that heavier fabric
Yes.
that might stretch.
This is the one that we have to be a little bit careful with. I'll line up the corner there and then ease that in. Using the 1/4-inch foot again so that I don't have to think about that. Then I'll line up another one. Now here's something I want to show you.
Okay.
Because we're doing this so randomly, we may have these little
Right.
tiny tags or corners. I just take them off.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
If it's a big piece, I'm probably going to leave it. If it was a big corner,
Because
I
you
would
want to
leave it.
show where it connected
Yeah,
to that other.
exactly.
Right.
But those little tiny tags, I'm just going to pull off.
It would have mostly been caught in the seam allowance
Right.
anyway. So.
And it just reduces a little bit of that
Bulk,
bulk because we've got plenty of bulk anyway.
Well, when you're throwing upholstery fabric into quilts, you're going to have a little bit of bulk.
You're going to have a little bit of bulk, yes.
And that's okay.
It's a lot of the fun for me to see what happens.
Well, it makes a nice designer quilt. I mean, this is a great bed quilt
Yes.
piece.
Would be great on the back of a couch.
Oh, yeah.
There's another of those little tiny tags. So you just check
Okay.
for them before you sew and pull that off of there. And I still don't have to do much thinking, do I?
No. This is a very relaxing project.
Very.
Over the last 3 segments, that's the one thing that has stuck in my mind is how relaxing it is.
Very relaxing.
My projects are a little too nerve-wracking, I think. I need to do some more relaxing
Yeah,
stuff.
I like to do relaxing piecing
Yeah.
very much. I also like the surprise that happens
Oh, yeah.
when you open these
definitely.
blocks up because each one is
reveal.
a surprise.
Yeah.
Exactly. So now I'm going to have a chain just as I did with the quarter blocks.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to take those over and press those
Okay.
as well.
All right. I'm anxious to see.
Yeah, so we'll take this big long chain over. I have to peek.
Yeah, that's, oh, yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, this is like one of my favorite colors right now, the screen.
I love this color. What would you call this color?
You know, my daughter's getting married at the end of this month, and the color is very similar to one of the colors in her wedding, and I cannot come up with a name. It's not really celery. It's not really celadon. It's, I don't know. I really don't. In my fresco line of fabrics, it's meadow. I know it from my own line of fabrics, but I just like the variation of the tints and the shades in there that you used of the same
Yes,
color.
I love it too. And I hate to tell you what it really looks like. I can't tell you. I can infer what it really looks like.
Uh-oh.
You know, having had 4 children and having experienced
Diapers.
them being, well, diapers and having them, experiencing them being ill and
Yeah.
things running down their face.
We're not going to
and-
go any farther
Yeah,
that
okay,
direction.
we'll stop right there. But I don't think we want to call it that.
No,
'Cause
we're not going to give it a name.
we're going to do the same thing. We're going to set that seam just as we did, and then we're going to press it open. Now, you would check your corner in the center. I know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
No? So if it was off a little bit, you'd
It's
leave
off.
it? Really?
Yeah. I can't tell
Just sew a
you.
button over it?
No, I wouldn't. There, it's off.
It's
Oh,
okay.
too
It's
bad.
totally okay. This one, this is a wonky kind of quilt. You know,
Yes.
it's okay that it has some character lines.
Yeah. More quilters come up to me after looking at my quilts and thank me
Sure.
for allowing them to be human.
It's freeing, yeah.
For allowing them to be
Liberating.
human. Yep. Not having to worry about every little
seam,
piece and everything. Oh, these are so fun.
It's not traditional quilting, and we're not making heirloom. I say that all the time. We're not making heirloom
No,
quilts
I'm
necessarily.
not.
You know,
This is that upholstery fabric, so I'm going to flip it because I
you
know
don't
that
want to
I
iron on that
can't
side, right?
open that one up. So I'll set that. Oh, ooh, is that
That's
one
really
yummy?
sharp, yeah.
I love the changes there.
Pear is
Pear.
kind
yes.
of a good name for the color. Yeah.
That is very close, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love that color.
So now we get to the point where we get to decide how to set these
Okay.
blocks.
Cool.
Okay.
Bring them on over.
Alrighty. What I did in the original quilt was I just had all of these blocks. I had them all with the same backgrounds and the
Oh, yeah.
color. Okay. I decided to switch it up a little bit in this one. So I've got a few blocks that I've done with
Oh, wow.
a black background.
Now, which one of these black and whites do you think I like the best? It's going to surprise you, I'll bet.
This one?
No, this one.
That would be,
Is it-
that was,
Most
other
people
one I
would
would
say
like.
that I probably would go for that, but
No, it
this
was
being
between
more
this one and
traditional.
this one.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
it was
I just
between those
liked
two.
the plaid working against that stripe, and I also love this black against that pear.
yes.
Yeah,
Which
that's
one do you
great.
think is my favorite?
At first, I would have said this, but I'm thinking maybe that.
Nope,
No, really?
that one.
Oh, you're kidding.
No.
Oh, that's
I know, isn't
unusual
that
for
scary?
us. Yeah.
That's pretty scary.
Mind melding.
Yes. Now I think I might have some more of those blacks. What I've decided to do with them is instead of setting it like I did in the original, which is 7 across and 9 down, I'm going to have one row of all the light ones, okay? The next row is going to have some black ones pop in.
Oh, okay, just random.
Yes, but not, well, and they're actually going to be a little planned out.
Okay,
Not totally
okay.
random. They're going to be every other one in that row.
Okay.
And then the next row will be all white.
That's cool too. I'd love to see it also in a checkerboard, every other.
And I thought about checkerboard originally.
That's probably too traditional for you.
It was a little too expected for me.
Sure.
So I was thinking of dominoes almost.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, where you've got that contrast periodically.
No, I like
in
it
there.
a lot. I think that's great.
Yeah, so then these will all get pieced together in rows of 7 by 9.
I love it.
Yeah.
I think it's great. Now, what do you want to show us anything about the way you treated the border?
I do.
on
I
this?
want to
Okay,
show you a
cool.
little bit about that. It's another way to use the scraps up.
Okay.
If you've got some
That's great.
leftover strips, you're going to want to do a border that's not quite so traditional.
And I love that. So how did you complete this border? What was your...
This one, I'm going to start with just a scrap of muslin, of some foundation that you would
Sure.
leave in, a fabric that maybe you don't care for anymore.
This is how I
Okay.
hoped you were doing it.
Yes,
It's kind of
this
like
is.
crazy quilting.
Oh,
basically.
exactly. Yeah, it's basically flip and stitch.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
So you're going to start with your piece of fabric, and I would
Foundation.
put the paint down in case I had a white piece. I wouldn't want it to show through.
Sure.
Okay? Here's one that I've got started. All right. So I'm going to have all of these strips going across. I'm going to use the least amount of the color.
Sure. I love what those blacks and whites do against each other, and I love that they're not all pure black and white. You've got
Yes.
a little bit of off-white and ivory in there.
Yes, and I'm switching the angles up. So I'm going to show you how I do that.
Okay, great.
You're
I like
going to
just the way
start.
that piece looks.
Yeah. You're going to start with piece on the end, okay? And because we're stitching on the right-hand side there, we're going to start with the rest of our piece underneath here. It seems a little goofy when you first start it, but it works fine.
Is it going to be okay with that foot, with your 1/4-inch foot on there? With that
Actually, I'm going to
guide?
switch it back.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay.
Thank you. Yeah, because with the 1/4-inch foot, it would work, but it might catch
Right,
some
the-
of my
that
fabrics.
ridge on the edge there.
And especially since I want to change the angle, it'll be easier to have this foot. You just
Okay.
wanted to see me put it on there again, didn't you?
Well, not necessarily,
Oh,
but I just
okay.
wanted to make sure you didn't have any
There we go.
trials and tribulations putting it together.
Yes. So we start with this strip, okay? And it can stick out, doesn't
Sure,
have to be
sure.
exact. Then we're going to grab something different, put the edges together, all right? And here's where we're probably going to use a wooden iron again.
Okay.
And I think I've got one over there. I'm going to do an approximate 1/4-inch seam.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be exact.
One thing that I do like to be aware of when I do this, if I'm using a white fabric over a black, I'm going to nudge it out a little bit more
Okay, so
than
that
my
covers
black.
that, right?
Yes, otherwise you're going to end up with a little
Seam.
strip there. And I learned that the hard way, wondering why I outlined some blocks once.
Yeah.
Because there was some black fabric
see-through.
sticking out, yes. So you're just going to stitch down, and what I'll do often is have all 4 border pieces going at the same time.
Okay.
So I would just stitch them all together. Now I'll have you press this open with a wooden iron, if you would, please.
Okay.
So we're just sewing it, we're going to flip that open, and then we're going to lay another one on.
And we're, this is the process. We're running out of time here, but it's easy to see that you just keep adding one strip after the other, and do a little cattywampus.
Yes, change the angle a
direction,
little bit,
but
yes.
leave about a 1/4 of an inch seam to
Exactly.
make sure that you've got it all caught in there. Well, I want to thank you for being here with us, Kay, and bringing this project for our viewers. I'm sure you've enjoyed it. And make sure that you visit Kay's website at crosscutsquilting.com. You can find this pattern and a lot of other great stuff, so make sure you visit. And I want to thank you for being here again, Kay. It's always great to have you here with me. And thanks to you for being with us. I'm Patrick Lose, and another episode of Quilters Newsletter TV, The Quilters Community.
Quilters Newsletter TV, The Quilters Community, is brought to you by Handi Quilter, designed by a quilter for quilters. Sulky, express yourself with sulky and create with confidence. Brother, it's so easy with Brother at your side. And Quilt Cut, easy fabric cutting for quilters.